And good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the Karl Demasi Sports Court. It's Wednesday Night Live, it's Thursday Night Live, and it's all right here in the center of the universe of sports. And that's, of course, it's at Coach's Corner. We're part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We follow the show every Wednesday night, Rubbin' and Grubbin' with Dan Foles and Brandon Baines. Do a great job on NASCAR. Usually the AD, Chad Griffin, is here, but he's got a softball game. He's got a volleyball game over at Calvary Day School. So he might pop in, he might not, but hey, I had to get two guys to fill in, take care of one now, but these two guys are regulars. Of course, the columnist, Stephen Elmo Weeks, which we haven't done a Thursday Night Live in a long time. And, of course, the man that's been doing a lot of stuff for the Prep Sports Report, our sports reporter, Travis Jadon. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Good to see y'all. How's everybody doing?
What's going on, fellas?
Hey,
you know, in sports, which is a relief. It's pretty cool with not only high school sports, but the NFL, the NBA, college football. Golf, professional golf. It's been fantastic.
Travis, I know you've been doing a lot with sports, even getting on the links and shooting some good scores.
Yeah, I have been. I play enough that, thank God, the good scores are finally starting to come. I followed up two of my best rounds in the last 2 days with a round today. But I won't say what I shot on that one. But yeah, I'm excited that there's a lot of sports going on. It's nice when you're on the golf course and checking your phone for scores of other sports. That's the dream.
Take it from an old man's perspective. Just be grateful that you have the time and your back will allow you to continue playing every day. You'll get to I hope you don't. I got to a point where I can play maybe once a week.
Oh man, I don't wish that on anybody. I don't know what I would do if it came to that.
Yeah, tell you what, brother. Once you have some kids and gain a little bit of girth around the belly, it gets harder and harder to get out there.
You sound like you've been talking to my mom.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice. That's right. Nice. Well, mom jokes now, eh, Travis?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I tell you, Travis, you've been doing, huh? Go ahead.
At least you guys get to play at least once a month, or I maybe get to play at least once every 3 months, and I'll take whatever I get. It. Like Steve said, I get on that golf course, I'll shoot my 120. I'm happy with it. I'm out there playing golf. That's all that matters now.
That's right. Hey, speaking of golf, I think we can start the show by congratulating Madeline Saxton from Guyton, who is the reigning 2020 Junior City Amateur Champion for girls. And she went up to Florence, South Carolina, and won herself a golf tournament on the Peggy Kirk Girls Golf Tour, which is a Peggy Kirk Bell Girls Golf Tour. Big deal. People come from 4 or 5 states, and they Florida, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, I think Tennessee as well. It's a nationwide tour in the Southeast region. Maddie Saxton is actually leading the points race for what's called the Futures Division, which is the little bit younger girls. Maddie's 13. So terrific performance by Madeline Saxton. She's another one of those really talented young golfers in and around Savannah.
It's pretty exciting watching her win the Savannah Junior Golf Association championship, and then finding out that she's playing in this what is it called, the Peggy Bell?
It's the Peggy Kirk Bell Girls Golf Tour, and
I heard it's been going on for a long time.
This is the 15th year, and I learned a lot about it this week because Madeline did so well. But it's a nationwide tour. They've got divisions. They've got a prep division, futures division throughout the country, and it's a big time golf production for young women. And Madeline has taken advantage of every opportunity she has to go out and show people what she can do. So you got Mary Miller, who almost wins the Georgia Women's Amateur. You got Madeline winning a regional event. You got Chad Chadwell going up to Callaway Gardens and winning his age group in the U.S. Kids Golf Georgia State Invitational.
Kate Barber.
Kate Barber wins everything she plays. Specifically, Kate went up and finished second or third in the U.S. Kids World Team Championship in the 13, 14-year-olds. You got Reed Lotter. Haven't heard a lot about him recently, but he's out there doing his thing. And there's a whole group of them that go that travel and play on the Southeast Junior Golf Tour. It's a great tour. Kids like Hamp Threlkeld and Dallas Hunter, kids like that. My son Jack will be doing that next year when he's a little bit older. But Savannah's a golf hotbed right now. There's just a lot of really, really good junior golf taking place in and around Savannah.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to follow. And, of course, we look up to Brian Harmon and Tim O'Neill and Gene Sowers and Mark Silvers. So, hopefully someday we'll – and, don't forget about, Hollis Stacy and her sister. I can't think of her sister's name, Stacy. She was inducted into the Savannah Great Savannah Hall of Fame. She's winning amateur tours still. So it's definitely a long contingent of excellent play by our youth here in Savannah, Georgia.
A lot of good players come from here.
So, all right, I'm gonna turn this back now. Okay, you two love to make predictions on the internets. We got Twitter, we got Facebook. You guys do this, okay? But I'm telling you right now, guys, I just think the Falcons are snake bitten. They're up 20-something points against the Patriots. They're up 15 points against the Cowboys, and we can't win a ball game. I don't know, but you guys, I don't know who you picked, but that I couldn't believe that onside kick, and they just stood there and they watched it. And one of them happened to be Julio Jones.
Yeah, it wasn't a good weekend for my picks, Carl, but much like my golf game, when I do tweet the scores of my good rounds, I try to at least mix in a lot of the bad rounds as well. Much like the point spreads in the games yesterday, I posted them ahead of time. And then everyone else got to watch as I lost every single game. The Dallas Falcons game was another, I think, chapter in, the nightmare that has become being an Atlanta Falcons fan. I myself did not grow up an Atlanta Falcons fan, but I was all my friends are Falcons fans, a lot of my family members. And so, I find myself wanting those people to have their team win, unless they're playing the Dolphins, of course. But so every time I'm watching the Falcons with some of my friends, I get kind of sucked in just a little bit to what they feel. If they feel, 10 times worse than what I feel for the Falcons not being a fan, I cannot imagine it week after week. I know for me, an easy fix would be change the coach. Even if he's not the problem, you've got to do something. And if he's not the problem, it's the coach's job to find the problem and fix it. They haven't done that either. So something's got to give for me.
I would tell you, growing up around here, I was a Falcons fan, and it was like at some point in my mid-20s, my friends just had an intervention, and they were just like, you can't keep doing this. This is never going to get better. They're never going to be any good. And I kind of, focused all of my sports energy on Georgia and the Braves for a while. And I've never.
Oh, that was a mistake.
That was a mistake, as it turns out. But I never really got back into the Falcons. I will tell you this, and this sounds, you hate to say it. I just don't ever, I know they went to the Super Bowl. I know they're up 28-3. I actually, in the middle of that, 28-3, I put out a Facebook post that basically said, I cannot believe this is actually happening. We're going to win the Super Bowl. And I mean nobody has ever let me forget that I did that. So it's not going to get better. You could resurrect Tom Landry and Vince Lombardi, and they could both coach the Falcons at the same time, and they would still stink. There's just nothing you could do. You could go back and put Walter Payton in the backfield with Joe Namath, and it wouldn't matter. No matter what, the Falcons will stink.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Go ahead, Travis.
I think recently, or in the last 5 or 6 years, the Falcons have, unfortunately for them, been sucked into what the Braves and Georgia Bulldog fans have been going through for quite a while. Everyone obviously remembers 1995. Hold on to that forever, for sure. Hold on to 95. But, when Georgia plays Alabama in 2012 in the Georgia Dome, we don't need to rehash how that went. It didn't go well. A few weeks later, in the same stadium, on the same side of the stadium, the Falcons had their heart broken.
Brutal.
And then as you're entering Georgia, as you're entering 2018 national title game, you're thinking, well, it won't be worse than 2012. It might be as bad, but it can possibly get worse. And then, of course, it does. Not to mention the infield fly rules for the Braves, and
it's really
and Brooks Conrad as well. Brooks Conrad deserves some blame.
Living in Georgia, following. There was, Larry Munson, legendary voice of the Bulldogs, was also the voice of the Falcons for a while.
Right.
And I'll tell you, that man's voice never sounded so defeated as when the Falcons would do one of their things. And I remember when I was growing up, we used to listen to the Bulldogs on Saturdays and the Falcons on Sundays, and it was Munson both days. And the Falcons one day, and I want to say it was the Houston Oilers. It was either the Houston Oilers or maybe it was the Cowboys. Let a guy return a punt with 25 seconds left to lose a game in Fulton County Stadium, and Larry Munson with that gravelly voice. Well, they did it again, and they just find ways to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory in creative and painful ways. I didn't watch the game.
It's poetic. It's almost poetic.
It is. It's
unbelievable.
It really is. It's a tragedy, and it's a comedy all at the same. It's not even like the Bucks, right? Like the Buccaneers and some of these other teams are funny. Like they're funny.
Or the Knicks or the New York
Knicks.
Knicks.
That's kind of funny. The Falcons aren't
Hey. No jokes here.
You got to let Spike Lee in the front door. You got to let Spike Lee in the front door.
The Falcons aren't even funny, though. It's just sad.
Yeah,
right? I mean, I watched the highlight of that thing, and I remember, Travis, you remember, Carl, you've coached, you played. I mean, when you were 6 years old, you were told, don't let a ball roll.
Right.
Go get it. It doesn't matter if you go cover a ball and you get called for a penalty, that's okay. Don't let a ball roll in front of you. I remember that being 6 years old. If you see a rolling ball on the field, go get it. Go jump on it.
It's a general rule on anybody that plays on the hands team, and they're going to kick an onside kick. You don't let it roll. If it's starting to die, jump on it. It's a penalty against them. I mean, and if they
jump on the ball. And you're talking about guys. You're talking about 4 or 5 guys making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and they have been the best player on their team since they were 6 years old, all the way up through their entire lives. They watched the ball roll.
All right, let's go ahead. You got one more comment, Travis? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. If you'll remember last year, the Falcons and Younghoe Koo were – I don't remember the specifics. I think it was 3 recoveries in one game. The Falcons recovered their own onside kick. That's even more Atlanta and more Falcons that you are so good at recovering it when you're the one kicking it.
Yeah.
It also kind of weeks, I'm going to tell you this, it kind of reminded me of Mark Richt's pooch kick against Georgia Tech.
Oh my God!
See how it's all poetic. It's too much.
I mean, Travis, I'll literally start crying, man. You can't talk about it. I was in the stadium for that.
Take us away, Carl.
Perfect segue. Hey, SEC football starts Saturday. Bulldogs open up against the Razorbacks in there, bringing back the red britches. Okay, you're talking about Larry Munson. I mean, I'm excited. I've been excited about college football being back, and I can't wait. Well, I'm going to be at a wedding in somewhere called Dallas, Georgia, wherever that is.
Oh, it's a nice place.
I'll make sure I'm watching the Georgia Bulldogs at 4:00.
Hey, it's about time for the red pants. We've been begging for those for 20 years. It's about time. I'm glad they're bringing them back.
Why did they do away with them?
I don't know. Different coaches do different things, but I like him because some of the best highlights of Herschel's freshman year, he's wearing the red pants. Right. He runs over Bill Bates in Knoxville wearing the red pants. I love the red pants. I don't really – this is heresy. A lot of people don't like this. I don't like the black jerseys, actually. I never have.
After what Alabama did to them, why would you?
Travis, I never liked them. I thought it was fake juice. I didn't like what they stood for. But I do like the red pants. I'm glad they're bringing those back. That's a throwback to Herschel Walker time, and that's always nice.
So we'll have some football Saturday, some SEC football. The Bulldogs return to the football field, and you're watching Wednesday Night Live, Thursday Night Live on the Karl Demasi Sports Report, on the Prep Sports Report, on Coach's Corner Facebook page. We're all over the place, and I got to step one more pro comment though. I know you guys talk about the Braves in '95 and everything else, but here's a guy that moved down from New York, a diehard Yankee fan. I tell you right now, guys, I love the Braves. I mean, I follow the Braves more than I follow the Yankees. The Red Sox can go, that'll always be the same with me and my feelings, but there's just something about the Braves. I know they get to the playoffs, they lose, but they're exciting, they're young, and I know more about them because I live here now. So, I think three years in a row again. Well, didn't they win 15 divisions in a row and only won one?
In a row.
Yeah.
They're in. That's all that matters in this uncommon fanless season. So I'm excited for the Braves.
Weeks, are you excited for the Braves? I mean, I feel like I've seen this movie. But I want to be excited. And they're good enough. They're good enough to win a World Series if they were just given just a little bit of help. They don't have to be great starting rotation, but when you think about who's going to start game 3 or 4, remember the NLDS is going to be back-to-back days.
Yes.
I think Mike Foltynewicz is going to start a baseball game in the playoffs for the Braves somehow.
I think it's the same. It's a slogan that somebody came up with a few years ago. The Braves are built for the regular season. I mean, I don't exactly know what that means because they are good. There's no question they have a lot of offensive firepower. Acuna's one of the best players in the game. And they have two really good starters. But no, I don't really feel excited about the Braves. Baseball for me has been really hard to get back into. I feel like more so than, and I don't know why this would be, it's completely subjective. I think more so than football or basketball, baseball's been hard to watch without fans. It just feels weird. Like it feels like an exhibition game or like a spring league game. I've watched some, but I haven't gotten, and I think that'll change probably once the playoffs start. But it's been hard for me to get a lot of energy for it.
And Karl, kind of what you said earlier about when you guys were coming up, or when you were coming up in terms of your Braves fandom and learning about the Braves when you first moved down here. I guess I found myself this year listening to more of the Braves radio calls than ever before, and I think
love baseball and radio.
I love baseball and radio, most every year regardless, but this year above all others, without fans, it's kind of the equalizer. Now radio could quote unquote compete with TV, and there is a romanticism about it.
Absolutely.
They make you at some point in times believe the Braves could win the World Series.
I'm going to take you down memory lane for me just a little bit. When I was a junior in college at the University of Georgia, and this was 92, Braves were obviously awesome. One of the best teams in the league, the four horsemen, all that stuff with the pitchers.
Sid Green, right?
I had a job delivering Olin Mills picture packages. People would go to Olin Mills, they get their pictures taken. I'd go pick up these envelopes, right? And I'd drive all over Athens on hot summer nights. My air conditioner didn't work in my cruddy car. Windows down, listening to the Braves, and it was perfect, man. It was awesome every night. I'd just ride around, and then, the Braves game would end just about the time I got done delivering my stuff, and I'd go pop a cold frosty beverage with some friends. It was a great summer. I'll never forget listening to the radio, Chip Carey and all those guys. I love baseball and radio.
They're always colder in Athens.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to give away my age, okay? I'm going to go way back when I was growing up during the 60s, the Yankees were horrible. And I was old enough now to latch on to the New York Mets. And yes, Travis, I'm going to make you twitch here. I was a Met fan, 69 Mets. I would have my transistor radio in my bedroom. I was 10 years old. So, I lived with the radio. And, Phil Rizzuto and Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson, who was a great football player.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool, bro.
But I lost faith in the Mets when they got rid of Tom Seaver. So that's when I went to the dark side, because that's when George Steinbrenner was buying everybody and anybody. But that's a long story short. But there's nothing like listening to a baseball game on a radio. They just they know how to paint the picture. They know how to paint the picture, and that's what's so great about it.
Oh yeah, it's great. I love baseball on the radio.
All right, so let's go now to the other side. Thursday Night Live, Prep Sports. Last weekend we had some big games. Travis, you covered one for the Prep Sports Report. So we're into week number 4. Travis, tell us about the first 3 weeks. What do you think?
Well, I think everything that we've learned or that we are learning in the back of our minds, everyone is trying, or at least I am trying to remind myself, there's a whole half of the city yet to play.
Right.
What they'll be playing for and how that looks, I'm not sure. But it's, I feel like before you start any conversations about rankings of players, teams, who's good, you got to put that out there first. This is not including the teams that haven't played, right? For me, it's been pretty clearly Savannah Christian, Calvary, and BC doing what we thought they would do for the most part, I think. I do think that we're starting to see that Savannah Christian and Calvary is probably going to be not only for that region title, but maybe one of the top 3 or 4 seeds, in the state playoffs, which is pretty remarkable considering the contrast between Savannah Christian and Calvary. Carl, every year that game is absolutely nuts. One year it'll be 9-6, and the next year, 100-90. And I think this year it'll be another interesting matchup with a senior quarterback versus a freshman quarterback. Baker Woodward, kind of an upstart coach at Savannah Christian. I mean, everyone knows his name, but he's only 3+ years in. Mark Stroud been doing it forever. And then also, I think the last storyline I would think is the lurking giant in BC. I think I'm confident that they will pretty easily run the table outside of October 9th at Ware County. I think October 9th at Ware County might be the biggest regular season game for BC in 3 years, maybe since they opened up at Glen Academy a few years back. That's going to be an absolute test for them. And it might be the first time that Holden Gariner will be playing a quarterback that's more talented than him at this level, and Thomas Castellanos.
Yeah, I watched Thomas the last 2 years. I mean, he's an unbelievable quarterback over there at Ware County.
He's something else.
He's a dual threat quarterback. I mean, he's got the wheels, he's got the arm, he knows how to play the game. But
he's got the swag. He kind of walks it's easy to see it.
Benedictino, 6 games on the road, Stephen, because they had to change that schedule up. A high school team, I've never heard about a high school team playing 6 games on the road.
I think it's everybody's doing everything's weird and out there. But I tell you, if one culture, if one program has the culture to handle that kind of adversity, it's BC. They're very, very tight knit. Danny Britt runs tight ship. You just go do your job and you get ready to play, and then you show up on Fridays and play. And I think like I said, if there's a program out there at a high school level that can handle it, it's probably BC. I've been impressed, and I haven't been able to attend a game yet. We're still sort of iffy because we've got my mother-in-law that lives here, so we don't do a lot of big stuff. But I've been impressed with Spencer Robichaud over at Savannah Christian. Savannah Christian has never been able to throw the ball. I mean, in 30 years, Savannah Christian hasn't been able to throw the ball.
Whoa! There was a quarterback there that could throw the ball. Tell him, Travis.
It was Russell.
But he ran more than he threw. He could throw the ball. You're right. Your son was a very good thrower.
They wouldn't let him throw the ball. You're right.
They didn't let him throw the ball. I saw him warming up and wondered why he didn't throw the ball. But
the hair looked too good. He couldn't mess that hair up.
Baker's letting Spencer throw it, and he's dialing up a bunch of big plays. I think that makes Savannah Christian a different animal than they've been in a long time. They're not wearing people down; they're blowing people out.
And that's what I like about Baker Woodward. Okay, because when he was the offense coordinator, the OC at Benedictine, he had a kid named Stevie Powers, and he let that kid throw the ball. So, I mean, Baker knows how to go with his talent, and that's what offense is in football. You got to know what your players can do and what they can't do. And I know he's a young coach, but Baker's been around for a while. And it's funny how how an ex-Cavalier is leading the Raider program now. That's pretty funny too.
That's funny. It's funny how often that kind of stuff happens, though, right? You had Vince Dooley coaching the Dogs and Pat Dye coaches Auburn and all that. So, yeah, that stuff happens a lot. I tell you, though, I'm pretty impressed with how Calvary bounced back after taking that beating on the road against Prince Avenue. Obviously Prince Avenue is pretty stout, but Calvary's bounced back and playing really well. They're putting up big numbers, and it looks like they're not skipping a beat with this freshman quarterback, which is that's hard to do. You know how that is, Carl.
Oh yeah, I mean,
hey guys, forgive me. I'm still trying to get my phone on the charger. If you're wondering what the hell I'm doing,
just work through it. With Steve and I'll carry the load. But yeah, I mean, when you start a freshman quarterback, that kid's got to be special. Is going to be special in a couple of years. And we've noticed that at Calvary, Mark Stroud is not afraid to start a freshman quarterback.
Right.
Thomas Carver did a heck of a job for Calvary 4 years. Now he's got Jake Mecklinger, and he's doing a great job. So, I think, like you said, the kid got his feet wet against a pretty good Prince Avenue Christian team. So, plus there's a kid named Vandergrift that might be going to Georgia on the other side. So maybe you learn something from that.
Yeah, and I think probably everything else will feel slow by comparison, right? The game will slow down after you see the, that level. Everything else will feel like a scrimmage. So I think it's, what Travis said earlier is right. Savannah Christian Calvary is. I don't even think it's really, at least on the private school side, it's the best rivalry in Savannah in all sports. The public school side, I'd still say Savannah High Beach is, maybe the best rivalry in the city. But that's going to be a nuts atmosphere. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully by that, I don't know what they're going to do in terms of fans and letting people in. But I hope that there can be a big crowd there, because that's going to be a big game, and there's going to be a lot riding on it. And hopefully we'll be able to have like a showdown week, like every other year for that game.
And you're watching Wednesday Night Live, Thursday Night Live on the Karl Demasi Sports Report, live at the center of the sports universe, coaches. And I got this one for you, Travis. I know this is in Savannah, but Friday night, Liberty County and Bradwell go out for the first time since both those programs had to shut it down. That's going to be a battle down there in Hinesville.
Yeah, how long do you think they've been waiting to get that going on in Hinesville, right? I mean,
that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And those two teams have no love lost for each other. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and when I think of Liberty County, obviously they roll through a bunch of 3, 4, 5 stars, and they do it the right way. But I think Kurt Warner is one of the best coaches in the entire state. I've been around a lot of coaches in all sports, from Little League, YMCA, volunteer coaches to, high salary coaches for training and all this stuff. This guy is one of the most even and consistent guys. It's almost hard to explain. There's guys like Jason Cameron and Danny Britt and Mark Stroud, and they all do it different ways. But the way Kurt Warner does it at Liberty County is radically different. If I could, guys, just to circle back to what you guys were just talking about with Savannah Christian and Calvary, for me, and I might have said this on this show before, Calvary is clearly not getting a lot of love early from people outside Savannah because of the Giza schools. And I think that most people at Calvary would understand that, and that they aren't too concerned with where they're ranked in week 3, right? And neither are we, but that should be noted that we're talking about Calvary, who is in the consensus rankings, not in the top 16. But that would change at some point, right? We think. Okay. I also, Stephen and Carl, when you look at the schedule for the last 3 weeks and you look where BC's going this week, and you look at Savannah Christian hosting Valwood, Calvary, Frederica, you just wonder, why couldn't BC and Calvary, or BC and Savannah Christian, who are both facing the same scenarios in terms of open vacant dates, multiple vacant dates, where you could have played a game in this city that people have been begging for. I get why you wouldn't want to play it. There's not a lot to gain, right? But just say that, because there's no reason not to play that game.
I would tell you, Travis, there's a lot of politics involved in the decision not to do that. I remember
the fans are the ones that pay the price for it, I think.
I remember growing up when I was at Savannah Country Day, and we had a pretty good basketball team, and we really wanted to play BC, and we tried different ways, and they just wouldn't do it. They didn't want to take the risk of losing to a single A school when they were still 5A. I don't know if it's that so much now as it is. I don't know. I mean, would it maybe be concerned about poaching players or clashing cultures? I don't know, but it does seem like in this 1 year, it would have been smart for Christian to play BC instead of playing, whatever that thing was, Valwood up in Macon or whatever that was.
Yeah, or BC going to 0-3 North Oconee this week.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't make a lot of sense. And there is a reason. We would accept the reason if we were told, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I got to defend Danny Britt on this. Being a former head coach and trying to make a schedule, when the Chatham County teams decided that they were going to stay and play themselves, he was scrounging for games. So there's no doubt in my mind he was looking for the first thing he could get. And that's the way it works with football coaches. We want to get whatever we can get. I'm telling you right now, I got calls when I was at Groves for 5 years. I got calls from Lowndes. I got calls from Valdosta. I got calls from Warner Robins. Hey, I wasn't going to play those games. They were looking for an easy win. Now, with the pandemic, you had to take whatever you could get. So maybe Calvary wasn't open. Maybe Savannah Christian wasn't open. So we don't know the future.
I think too. I don't know that Calvary, this year's Calvary, I don't know that Mark Stroud would sign up for that. I think Savannah Christian probably.
Probably not. But
Savannah Christian might.
If a game right now for 2024 was scheduled that you would play either in 24 or 25, you don't have to play both. Pick one, and you got 3 years to figure out a date. And then the next year, you rotate that, maybe add in Jenkins or Islands and make it a four-way thing. It's really not that radical. And now that Islands has a brand new stadium, Memorial Stadium has a brand new stadium, it's tough to see Benedictine playing at North Oconee and at Brunswick. Meanwhile, they're hosting Burke County.
I think it'd be. Look, I'm a person who thinks rivalries are healthy. I like the fact that Georgia plays Georgia Tech every year, but this year, I think it would be a healthy rivalry. I think it'd be great for kids who know each other, who grew up here, playing against each other in Little League, playing against each other in SPAL or whatever it was, get to play against each other in high school. I think it'd be healthy. I don't see why you wouldn't do it. Savannah Christian plays Blessed Sacrament and St. James in middle school. Okay.
And in junior varsity too.
And in junior varsity. So why not let BC and Savannah Christian and Calvary play? I mean, I don't know what harm it would do. Of course, I've never, like Karl, I've never been a head coach in high school.
No, we've just been the fans watching the scrimmage games. That's what we are.
Yeah. I'll tell you the best. I will tell you this. I think the most exciting atmosphere I've ever seen at a football game in Savannah was the BC versus Savannah Christian alumni game. That was done. I don't know if y'all remember that. A few years ago, Josh Millard came back and played, and a bunch of dudes from Savannah Christian. That might have been the best atmosphere I've ever seen in a football game in Savannah. And it was the Memorial Stadium before it got rebuilt. It was falling down. But I'm telling you, that place was packed, and they were loud, and people were absolutely getting after it, and it was great to watch.
Hey, we got a comment in the comment box. Jimmy Kelly says Savannah Christian and Calvary would have nothing to gain from playing BC. BC would have everything to gain. BC is big as Calvary and Savannah Christian combined.
I would ask what would
Jimmy,
one of those teams have to gain from playing Valwood? What would they gain from playing Frederico? What did they gain from that?
So Jimmy's a Savannah Christian guy. He's one of the biggest Georgia fans in Savannah, and I know what he's saying. He's saying we go play BC. They beat us 52-20, and then maybe some of our guys go, "Gosh, should we just go play for BC?" I don't think that would happen. I think I think the cultures are different and kids getting in with their coaches and stuff. But I mean, I can see where he's coming from, but I don't know what you gain out of playing at Giza school. Although that who was it?
Bullock.
Country Day to the woodshed.
Bullock Academy.
Yeah.
And so that's a perfect example.
By the way, those are, and we know this. Some of those things up in the country, those are proud programs. Bullock and Pinewood and things like that. They don't mess around, man. If you go
Memorial Day a few years ago was a juggernaut.
Giza, Georgia High School, Valwood, Frederica, Bullock Academy are usually your better Giza teams too.
Hey, if talk about back in the day, if you went across the river into Ridgeland and played Thomas Hayward at their place, you don't want any part of that. You don't want any part of that. Those are proud programs, but I agree. Like, what do you get out of that? I don't know. Not much.
I got to go to a Thomas Hayward. I'm going back like you did, Steve. My first year over at St. Andrews. Here I am. I'm in my blue shirt, my light blue shirt at St. Andrews. I had my Notre Dame tie on. I had a Yankee hat on.
You gotta love it.
Next thing you know, here comes Thomas Hayward out of the locker room to Dixie. Carrying the
the rebel flag.
So I looked to my friend Bob Curley, who's from New Jersey. I said, Bob, did we make a wrong turn off of 95 somewhere? I mean, cannons going off. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Hey, they had a coach over there. Carl, I can't remember that man's name, but he was old. He was seemed really old. Harry something or other.
Harry Sparkle. It's
something like that. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what. When he was coaching there, when I was with the Carolina Morning News, Phantom Morning News, Thomas Hayward was a force in Skeezer. And if you played them at their place, which was basically just a grass field with some bleachers, man.
Cement bleachers. Boy, you didn't want to play them there. You didn't get a call. You didn't get a glass of water. It was like playing in a swamp, and they let the alligators feed on your sideline. It was rough. That was one of the best home game atmospheres in high school football I ever saw. Was Thomas Hayward, the Thomas Hayward Rebels.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that 3 or 4 Giza games per year versus GHSA schools is what they want or that GHSA wants. But it could work nicely if you use it like FCS versus Power 5. If you mix it in once a year. So what are these teams will win every now and then. And at the risk of, sounding a little dumb like I have Frederica Academy, Calvary, Valwood, Savannah Christian. Savannah Christian this week has John Millage Academy, the defending 3A state champion in Giza. They are in their last 55 games, 52-3. The team that Savannah Christian just played, Valwood, John Millage beat them 69-16 in the championship game last year in the state title game. So that's a sizable margin, worthy of a St. Vincent soccer game. Yeah.
Well, like I said, some of those programs, they're proud. They do it right way. They've got good coaches. And if you it sounds like Savannah Christian better strap it on on Friday night, right?
All right. And this will be the last. This will be the last comment. We got the Jordan brothers helping each other out. Michael Jordan, BC plays private schools in basketballs every year, and it's a very healthy relationship between those schools. The same thing can be done in football. There's no excuse for it not to happen.
Yeah, no, there is an excuse because in basketball, you can get a home and home. In basketball, you're sometimes missing football players.
That's right.
It's a different sport altogether. I don't know if we should take comments from guys like that, Carl.
Especially
the last time we're letting anybody in now. We're letting in Jimmy Kelly, his brother. Come on.
All right. So,
by the way, thank you to everyone who commented. That's good, Jimmy. Thank you.
Yeah, and also thanks. Yes,
it's a lot of fun. All right, we'll run down the football slate here. We're waiting, Mr. Jordan, to give us his weekly preview. Effingham travels to Lakeside Evans, Benedictine at North Oconee. Liberty County takes on Bradwell. Bryan County goes to Southeast Bullock. North Cobb Christian comes in to play Calvary. John Millage, who is like 52-5, comes in and takes on Savannah Christian and Pooler. Country Days at Metter. And Bethesda travels across the bridge to Hilton Head Prep. So any key games you're looking at there, Travis?
I immediately go to Country Day Metter. All of a sudden, if you look at this game a month ago, this game could not have looked more different. Now Country Day is looking at 0-1 and on the road at suddenly number 2 in the state. Metter, think about that for a moment.
That's a throwback.
Metter is ranked number 2 in the state.
That's a throwback to the 80s.
Now, if Country Day were to somehow win that game, I don't anticipate that happening. Then what do we do with Country Day? Then where do we slot them? Because I had no idea at that point.
Travis, is that game at Meadow?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
That's another place you do not want to play.
Nope.
That's
Just not fun.
And which game you covering for the Prep Sports Report this week, Friday night, Travis?
We can decide. I mean, it's Savannah Christian or Calvary.
It's your choice, buddy. You're the reporter.
Weeks, what do you think? Weeks?
I like that Savannah Christian game. I want to see what they do with this powerhouse from Giza.
All right, so the people in the press box at Savannah Christian, if they're listening, save my seat.
Well, Nick, you got to let me know. I got to get your ticket there, buddy.
Yeah, let's put Savannah Christian and John Millage and see how Savannah Christian stacks up against the defending Giza state champion.
So Travis Jardon will be traveling across town out there to Pooler Stadium to watch Savannah Christian take on John Millage Academy. It should be a good one. And other than that, guys, softball is in full swing. South Effingham is probably the team that want to beat with Effingham. They both go at it. I don't know if you knew this little stat here, Steve. Effingham County had won 29 straight region games until South Effingham beat them a week ago, 2-1. 1-0. The South Effingham pitcher pitched a one-hitter, and the Effingham pitcher pitched a two-hitter. So, girls softball in the Ham is pretty impressive.
Always has been.
So, and volleyball, of course, Savannah Christians won like 18 straight matches. Calvary's right up there. Islands and Savannah Arts Academy won it last night. They were both undefeated. Arts Academy came in away in a big win. So we got a lot of prep sports going on. Golf, you name it, volleyball, cross country. Richmond Hill, I don't think they've lost a meet in the last 5 meets with cross country. There's just so much going on with prep sports.
I can't wait. Not too long. They're going Georgia Coastal Aquatic team. They'll start having swim meets again, and there's a bunch of swimming talent in Savannah Richmond Hill as well. And I can't wait to start talking about that in a few weeks.
Yeah, I'll just mark your calendars for October 1st for those public schools coming back.
That's
namely
right.
Jenkins and Patrick Blake. It's easy to sleep on them, but a lot of people are going to be eyeing them with a new coach and a really stellar quarterback who may have issue with Baker Woodward's assessment of Spencer Robichaux being the best quarterback in the city. And then also there is basketball coming around the corner.
Yes.
I don't know if we can talk about that, but that's coming.
If you think if y'all think I talk about my kids' golf a lot, wait till we get to basketball season.
Hey, Jimmy Kelly's back on. He says to Travis, come to Savannah Christian versus John Millage. No question. The Raiders are playing good football and getting better every week. He wants you there, Travis.
That's the most passionate. That's the most passionate. I believe. I'm going to tell you something right now, and all the BC people are going to get mad at me. I think the Savannah Christian fan base is the most passionate fan base in Savannah. I think even more so than BC, even more so than Calvary.
I need to publicly distance myself from that.
They are lifetime fans.
I want to distance myself from that. I want BC's team there.
The coach and the sports reporter didn't say it. The columnist said it.
I think so. I'm telling you, those people, the Savannah Christian people, are as loyal as the day is. It is impressive. They're like, well, they're not. They were never bad at football like South Carolina, but they're like South Carolina. Rain, lightning, hurricane. I don't care. They're going to the game, and it's going to be. And that thing out in Garden City is going to be packed. If it was snowing, if there was locusts descending upon Garden City Stadium, Savannah Christian fans were there. I watched a lot of games. Hey, I got to be honest with you. I watched a lot of games at Savannah State with BC when they weren't that great, when there just weren't that many people there, to be honest with you.
All right, to wrap this up quickly. All right, I know it's not prep football, but weeks, Georgia, Arkansas, what's your pick and by how many?
Dogs win easy, but I think that The last number I saw was 26. I doubt they cover 26.
Travis?
Yeah, I think Georgia by 1 million, but that was weird. It moved from 22 Georgia to 26 in a matter of 8 hours. What does that tell you?
I think people are. I think people are overvaluing they're undervaluing Arkansas. I think Arkansas will be a little bit better, but I think Georgia's offense still has quite a ways to go to figure some stuff out.
They should be able to beat Arkansas with whatever they have available.
I mean, I think legitimately you might see something like 27-6.
All I got to say, it's the Red Britches.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the Red Britches. I'm excited to see all the SEC stuff. I want to see Kentucky and Auburn. I want to see Mississippi State play. I want to see Ole Miss play with Kiffin. Mississippi State play with Mike Leach. Huh? That's going to be something else right there. I can't wait.
All right, guys, appreciate it. Another Wednesday night and Thursday Night Live with the columnist Stephen Elmore Weeks, the sports reporter Travis Jadon, and the coach Karl Demasi. The AD was doing his AD job, so that's why he couldn't be here tonight, Chad Griffin. I'll talk to you guys before the weekend. Appreciate it. Travis, I'll have your ticket ready for you.
All right. Go Dogs.
Thank you, guys.
See you later. And just to wrap this up, remember, every Wednesday night, it's the coach and AD. We will bring back the Thursday Night Live with Stephen Elmo Weeks and, of course, the coach. Due to scheduling and kids and me coaching AD, it's been tough, but it's always a lot of fun to have Stephen Elmo Weeks, the columnist, and, of course, Travis Jadon. Hey, PrepSportsReport.com. Travis does a great job. You got to jump on there. You got to read the stories. Brand new website, Stephen Elmo Weeks. Redesigned it. We got a running sports ticker. That's right. There's a sports ticker on top of the fold. It's not a newspaper, but I call it the fold. I don't know if you call that on the internet. But we got the updated scores. I try to update them as much as I can. Check it out, PrepSportsReport.com. Remember, we got Facebook, Prep Sports Report. We got Karl Demasi Sports Report. We're live on the Coach's Corner Facebook page every Saturday morning. Hey, come on by. So what's going on at Coach's Corner? Well, tonight, like every Wednesday night, is Pub Star Trivia in the Sound Garden, and there's a bunch of people out there socially distancing, okay? The weekend lineup here at the Coaches for Music, don't forget, social distancing guidelines are in protocol, are being followed. Thursday night for the very popular now, the Nashville Nights, hosted by Kick 6. Tomorrow night show features award-winning musician Angie Kelleher and her Ain't Your Mama tour. Angie K has been featured on The Voice with Blake Shelton, fell in love with her singing style. Her most recent release, Wild Self, founded 2 years ago while on a nonstop touring debut. So she'll be here Thursday night. Friday night, sold out. Friday night sold out in the Sound Garden. Are you ready for some rain in the Sound Garden? Purple Rain, that is. Coaches proudly welcomes the Purple Rain Experience. The Purple Rain Madness Experience. It's a tribute to the music of Prince. It's sold out. So once again, I can't help you. Saturday night, there is no music in the Sound Garden. The Rush Tribute Band that was scheduled for Saturday night has postponed until October 31st. Get your tickets now. The show will be a sellout. Okay, so no live music in the Sound Garden on Saturday night. Football. There's over 50 TVs in this place. You want to watch a special game, just ask John Henderson and Del Henderson or their staff, and they'll accommodate you. Remember, kickoff of the University of Georgia football season is at 4 p.m. The Bulldogs take on the Razorbacks of Arkansas. So it'll be right here in Coach's Corner. Remember, they got NFL, they got Major League Baseball, the Braves are on, they got NHL hockey in the Stanley Cup. So once again, the Braves clinched the National League. You know what that means here at Coach's Corner? The teepee. That's right. John Henderson will be putting up the teepee Monday morning outside Coach's Corner. Rubbin' and Grubbin will be doing a show from there. Maybe I can get the coach to agree with me, and we'll do a show from the teepee up there in the sky above Coach's Corner. Also, Lawrence Bennett, who's the producer of Rubbin' and Grubbin, notified me Coach's Corner will start serving breakfast. That's right, you heard it. Coach's Corner will start serving breakfast Monday morning. Open up the doors at 6 a.m. So we have now breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All sports, all music, all fun all the time, and it's all local right here at Coach's Corner. So remember, starting Monday, Coach's Corner will have, of course, breakfast. Breakfast at Coach's. You got to love it. Okay, don't forget, Sunday, NASCAR, Dan Foles, Brandon Bain, Rubbin' and Grubbin, the other outstanding show here on the Coach Sports Network. They'll be hanging out Sunday here. Remember, come in and see Dan Foles. See that man, Dan Foles, and he'll buy you an adult beverage. And it's on him. You don't have to pay for it. So make sure, Rubbin' and Grubbin right here Sunday, okay, for the NASCAR race. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsor for making the show possible every week, whether it's Wednesday night or Saturday night, and that's Coach's Corner on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, located right on Victory Drive. All sports, all the time, all food, all fun right here at Coach's. John Henderson does a great job. So remember, every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, it's the Coach and AD. Chad Griffin could not be here today. And every Saturday morning, it's the Karl Demasi Sports Report with the Coach and AD. We'll be back on Saturday with I think we're going to have to go with a best of, due to the fact that the coach has to spend a little time with the family. So it'll be a best of Saturday. It won't be live. First time in a long time. The coach and the AD need a little break. So until we see you or talk to you next Wednesday, may it be your best week ever. And whatever you may be doing, always hit it out of the park. Remember, mask. This is from Brandon Bain. You have to mask up, go dogs, okay? You have to social distance, and of course, wash those hands. Until next Wednesday, from the Coach's Corner Sports Network, I'm the coach from the Coach and AD. Wednesday Night Live. We had a special Thursday Night Live. We'll talk to you next week. God bless. Be safe.